Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Arakan Times Weekly English News. Today is Sunday, 28th of May, 2017. I am your sister Abir Anwar. Dear brother and sisters, Ramadan Mubarak from Arakan Times. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan is the holiest and most awaited Islamic holiday. It is also considered as one of the significant pillars of Islam. Muslims across the globe celebrate this with much devotion and sincerity. During this holy month, Muslims fast and reflect spiritually, from dawn to dusk. Those who have physical capabilities are required to observe fasting. But Ramadan is not just about fasting. It is also a time for spiritual reflection and devoting themselves to worship and prayer to Allah. This Ramadan, be sure to greet your family and friends a happy Ramadan. Send these Ramadan wishes messages to wish your Muslim friends and family a happy Ramadan or Ramadan Mubarak. The long-awaited blessed month of Ramadan is upon us. Do not forget to donate your zakat contributions through Muslim Aid. O Allah, protect us from oppression of Burmese dictators. Bless us to get back our lost rights to enjoy freedom in our beloved motherland. Bless us to perform worship in our ancestral land, Arakan. O Rohingya brothers and sisters, please do worship as much as you can to satisfy Allah. Thank you very much. Best regards, Arakan Times team. BGP arrests Rohingya religious teachers in Yeongchang. Arakan Times correspondent Buthidong. Border Guard Police (BGPs) have arrested some Rohingya religious teachers from villages under Yeongchang Union, Buthidong South on 24 May 2017. On 24 May 2017 at around 4:30 p.m., a gang of Myanmar BGP entered in some villages under the Yeongchang BGP sector and arrested some Rohingya religious teachers from the villages without any legal ground, according to correspondent's report. About 6 BGP personnel intruded into the Kanda village of Pukangchong Union under the Yeongchang BGP sector and arrested MV Hassan, 35, son of Ali Ahmed, from his house. Some other Rohingya religious teachers were also arrested by BGP that day from different villages under the Yeongchang BGP sector. Southern Buthidong, it is learned, but the reason behind the arrest was unknown to their relatives and the source to Arakan Times. 8 houses burnt down in Buthidong North. 27 May 2017. Arakan Times correspondent Buthidong. Myanmar Joint Forces of Army and BGP launched a raid in Kayan Dang village tract of northern Buthidong and burned down 8 houses on 24 May 2017. According to our correspondent's report, the forces intruded into the Alayowa hamlet of the village tract and began house search one by one in the village. On the other hand, the forces besieged 8 houses which were isolated from the main village and torched them to ashes. The joint forces have been conducting raids in northern Buthidong since 6 May, where at least 32 women were raped after an explosion in the nearby hills. Several Rohingya in the remote areas were killed in the hills nearby Myanmar army in the recent years, but the cases were hidden as it is very hard to get information from those remote areas. The Rohingya residents are in terrible situation following the continuous raid in the areas where the army raped women, burnt down houses, and arrested several innocent men who were later released after taking ransom money from the victims. 3 Rohingya women arrested by security forces in southern Mangda, 27 May 2017. Arakan Times correspondent Alay Thankaya. Myanmar Joint Forces of Army and Border Guard Police carried out raid in Ta Win Chong, remote village in southern Mangda, and arrested 3 Rohingya women for finding guns buried in the yard. One Friday morning, soldiers entered the village tract and conducted a house-by-house search in the area. At the time, the house of Shafiq, a Rohingya resident, was also raided. After a few minutes of the first raid, another team of army came and recovered 3 guns hidden under the soil in the house yard of Shafiq, for which the women present in the house were arrested and taken to the army camp. The arrestees are identified as Amina, 51, wife of Shafiq, Halima, 21, daughter of Shafiq, and Zainuk Bibi, 19, Miv Shamiullah of the village. A Rohingya from the village said the guns were buried by the first team of forces which conducted the raid for the first time to arrest the owner of the house and to easily accuse the Rohingya residents in the case. It is a tactic of Myanmar government to tarnish the images and views of Rohingya people to the world, he added. Now the locals are in terror following the arrest of 3 women and fear that more may be nabbed in similar manner. The women were tortured severely for recovering guns in the yard of houses, which the women are denying that those guns are not theirs and they do not know anything regarding this. As well, at least 100 houses were raided by forces in the village, where most of the men fled the village to escape arrest and torture. Rohingya residents in fear of following sudden deployment of army in 3 townships. 26 May 2017. Arakan Times staff report Myanmar has recently deployed tens of thousands of military in every village under Mangda, Bhuthidang and Rathidang townships, causing panic among the Rohingya Muslims in the areas. According to a report, the army from Upper Arakan state has been sent by Myanmar government to Western Arakan, particularly Mangda, Bhuthidang and Rathidang. The army has taken shelter in schools in every village and conducting raid in the Rohingya villages, where they are looting the valuables and arbitrarily arresting the innocent Rohingya people, who are later released after taking ransom money from the victims. When contacted, a Rohingya activist said, "We see tens of thousands of military are coming in groups and we are in terrible situation to see the troops. It is also not known to us why these soldiers are being deployed along the Myanmar-Bangladesh border." Kareem from southern Mangda said the situation is the same there like in Mangda North, where the armies are also being deployed who are taking shelter at village schools. Rakhine from Bhuthidang said to Arakan Times the military forces have been deployed in south and north of Bhuthidang, who enter the Rohingya villages at day and night, looting the properties of Rohingya and arresting the people to force for ransom money from the victims. Now the villagers are passing sleepless nights following sudden deployment of army in the areas. The soldiers are carrying out frequent raids in the villages where they are arresting, assaulting innocent Rohingya people, whomever they find in the village during the raid. Troops are also molesting and raping the Rohingya women and girls during the raid when they get opportunity, as the male members of the families flee away, fearing the arrest and torture of army. The Rohingya Muslims are in fear of sudden likely attack of army on them like they carried out on Rohingya after 9 October 2016, where thousands of homes were torched, hundreds of civilians were killed, thousands arrested, and hundreds of women and girls raped by soldiers. According to United Nations estimation, approximately 72,000 Rohingya have fled to Bangladesh to escape atrocities of Myanmar security forces, and they have been facing various crises in the squalid makeshift camps in Bangladesh. Now there is possibility of such big influx of Rohingya into Bangladesh from Arakan following the sudden deployment of militaries who are conducting crackdown in the areas, forcing people to flee villages, said an elderly man from Mangda.